Hey, this is Sam from Port Royal. I play bass, and this is my Six Quix with the Australian musician. First question: tell us about your first ever musical instrument. First musical instrument. My first instrument was a brown worn Epiphone SG that I had for a mere probably 6 months when I first started playing guitar. Mind the siren. But I thought I loved it, and I ended up not loving it as much as I hoped I would. Question 2: has there been a local musical instrument store which has been important to you through the years? There's been a few. There's been Music 440 at Indro, which was probably my local for a little while after Jindalee Music Shop shut down, which was a little while ago now. And then I sort of moved more into the city and went to Guitar Brothers and the music shop at Paddington. So those two are probably my go-tos at this point in time. They sort me out and they're good to us, myself and the band for sure. So shout out to you guys. Tell us about your main instrument now. What is it, where you got it, and why it's special to you? Yeah, so my main instrument at the moment, let me get it out, as I am the bassist for Port Royal. My Music Man, Stingray. It's not the bee's knees Stingray. It's the one just below it, but I'm not a bassist as much as I am a guitarist, so I felt this thing, and I played what did I play beforehand? I played a Squire J bass, jazz bass, and that was great actually for how much I bought it for. I bought it for $300 down in up the sunny coast somewhere, and good song. And that thing was great to me for a little while, but we got into the studio and the pickups just weren't quite working right, and there was light and shade between where I was sort of playing that just wasn't really working. And basically after that day, I just sort of said to the guys, I need a proper bass. So tried a whole bunch of stuff at Paddo Music Shop, and flea basses, and picked this thing up, and just felt so good. What do I use in the current stage rig? For Port Royal I just use a tuning pedal and my bass, and that's it. And then I run that through a Ashdown ABM RC, I think it's an RC 500 RC, ABM 500 RC Evo 3, 575 watt. And then that's just run through a 4x12 Ashdown cab, which neither of are mine actually, funnily enough. They're a good mate of mine who's been kind enough to lend it to me for the last almost a year, really. Sorry Max, love you. You've been good to me. You'll get it back one day. Probably not in as good a condition as you gave it though, that's for sure. Anyway, and then outside of that, what I use at home, because I still practice guitar a lot, not so much bass, is this is like my rig that I run when I'm not a bassist, which is your RC30 looper. You got your TC Hall of Fame 2, which is great. It's got the mash ability, so you can sort of add pressure where you want it instead of it just being like a complete pressure the whole time. Got the Obscura by Digitech, which was like the first sort of next level pedal I probably bought actually. And I remember bringing this thing home one day, and I was super stoked, and I ended up having like a 12 volt power supply that I couldn't use this on because it's a 9 volt, and I remember it just wigging out on me, and I was just like, what is going on? and took it back to the shop and was like, man, this thing doesn't work. And I remember I was so bummed that I couldn't use it that day because I had all these ideas that were just like rattling through my head. But I love the tape setting on this. It's brilliant, absolutely brilliant. And then this 9-volt pedals, fishing is as fun as fuzz. This one here, which is great. I use that through my bass actually when I'm at home and I'm just playing around with Royal Blood. As funny as that is, it just came on. So yeah, it's not quite a big muff, which is probably more suited to the Royal Blood bass sound, but this thing's still a lot of fun. You get a lot of like Chili Peppers sort of tones out of this. I play the solo to Danny California with this one, as well as the Turbo Distortion, the DS2, which is my first pedal that I ever got given to me by my best bud Jesse, who was the reason I play guitar. And then a Neo clone. I had a Nano clone, decided it wasn't good enough, got the Neo clone because I love Warpaint, and Warpaint have a lot of songs that they actually use a EHX pitchfork, but I didn't have the money for that, and I didn't really want to just use it for the detuning abilities, so I ended up just getting this one, and it's got this depth switch, which you can just get some crazy sort of waveform sounds out of, as well as like a straightforward sort of robotic clone-esque sound. Sick As Overdrive by Bondi Effects. Sick as, awesome pedal. I remember I lent this to Lawson when I first joined the band, and now my light doesn't work, and I had to basically steal it back off of him because he definitely wasn't giving it back. Yeah, great pedal. Recommended to me by my buddy Troy, who plays in First Page now, and great Sage. And then you gotta go the Fat Fuzz Factory. This thing is the shit. Next question: what's on your gear wish list? Man, the Klon pedals, that Yanis. I didn't mean to time any of this, but it seems to have just happened this way. Yanis from Foles, who's playing right now, he has this Klon pedal that is just like, that any gearhead will know about, and that they're worth like thousands of dollars, and you're lucky if you can get your hands on one because no one wants to give them up. But yeah, I definitely want to get a Klon pedal one day. They are sick. They're just, the drives and gains that you get out of that are just next level. Next level. And the latest project, I guess. Like Port Royals, we're recording still. At the moment, we've got a new EP coming out. Next year sometime. We just released a song, so we've got a 5 or a 6 track EP in the works at the moment. And then I think all of us just individually, we're all just like writing and doing our own stuff as well, sort of that'll either one day make it into a Port Royal set or won't, I guess, but time will tell. Yeah. Anyway, I think that's it. Yeah. This has been Sam from Port Royal. Six Quix feature for the Australian musician, and all the best. Keep listening to whatever and everything. How good Spotify. Fire out. See you later.